morning. Actually, it's the afternoon, and I'm recording this 12 hours earlier than what I might record it. You see the time, it just changed. I got to 5:45. It was 5:44, I thought, when I started, although I didn't see exactly when it changed. The title, which I wrote earlier this morning, is Karmic Debt Without Knowing Why. And the blurb that I wrote goes like this. Let's see if I've got this straight. We live a life, or many lives, in which we do things, bad or good. Then we go to our next life with no memory of what went before. We are rewarded or punished for deeds we don't even remember. There does not seem to be any connection whatsoever. Is that how you experience your life? It's how I experience mine. No connection with any past life at all. I live only with a vision of what I believe is a good future, namely the kingdom of heaven on earth. For this, I seem to get frustrated and sometimes even punished for things that are outside my conscious realm of knowing. What I do know is that the present world does not resemble my envisioned world in any way. I really try hard to make excuses, but believing there is a creator in charge, I come to a conclusion that something went very wrong. It would seem that God disappeared for some reason, leaving creation in the dark. Why would a loving God do this to his children? And if he is not responsible, why is it even allowed? I noticed a mistake there. I've got to go back and correct it before I print the blurb, because might be a word missing. Anyway, I've been perplexed not only all day, but since the whole thing happened with my home. And I posted a video that somebody sent me by Congressman. I don't know, close that thing, and I don't have two computers side by side anymore, but I can keep one open. I have to close all the files when I'm recording because it needs all the memory that it can get, and I don't like to use up memory. So now I don't have. It was a congressman he's running for senator. He's a Florida congressman, and I don't remember his name. That's terrible, but I don't. But in any case, he's blowing the whistle, and he's one of the few that are actually blowing the whistle on the corruption between the banks and the courts. But who's responsible for this? Who's responsible for the world that we live in? Certainly, you can't put the responsibility on the courts. They're a legal fiction. They're fraudulent. The judges are not real judges. The banks are not real banks. They create money out of thin air, and they multiply what they create multiple times to create wealth for a handful of people that want to run the world and want to have control and don't want justice, because justice would interfere with their game plan, would interfere with their ability to steal from everyone else and claim wealth for themselves only. And I can see the things that are wrong, and so can people that look at it, but so many people won't look because they're brainwashed by the media. They're involved in the system themselves, making money, even though the monetary system is fraud. They don't believe it's fraud because it's what is. It's what they've always known. But who's responsible? See, that's what I keep coming back to. Who's responsible for this? If I was in charge of a large company, the buck stops with me, doesn't it? And if I screw up, shouldn't I get fired? Shouldn't I lose my job? But that's not the way it works at the highest levels in our government. The people that screw up continue to keep being able to screw up, and they never get fired. They never get fired. And worse, whole thing, never takes responsibility, passes the buck to the creation that is ignorant. Now, what's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this picture? I've grown up my whole life since I was a kid. I've grown up loving God, dedicating my life to the best of my ability to God. Have I made mistakes? Certainly I've made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Have I repented of those mistakes? Well, I'm certainly not continuing in some of the things that I realized were errors. I've been willing to make corrections along the way and truly repent. But who repents for the crimes against humanity? Who repents for the miscarriage of, it's not even miscarriage of justice, because it isn't justice at all. Or is it just us? Is that all there is? Just us, no God, just us. And we've got to figure it all out for ourselves, just us. Nobody's helping us. There's no superpower. There's no omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, loving God. Now, some people say that the answer is in smoking pot, because it's a natural thing. I have prided myself in avoiding drugs my whole life. I held a joint once. I held a joint in my fingers once in my entire life. Over 69 years, in my 70th year, I've only got, and yet people are telling me, Ron, the answer is you got to smoke pot. Now, I would take ayahuasca in a spiritual ceremony, but only in a spiritual ceremony. I would not take it as a recreational drug. I don't do recreational drugs. That which I do for a purpose. The purpose is to bring the kingdom of heaven into manifestation on earth. That's my purpose. I don't have another purpose right now. And I haven't had another purpose for a long time. That's why I had church in my house till I couldn't have it anymore because of helping my family. It was a church. But it all fell apart. And my own family doesn't understand. They don't get it. And God doesn't help. The answer isn't in escaping. The answer is in holding creation and the people that create things accountable for what they create. And there's been a whole lot of funk created on this planet that has entrapped and enslaved people. And the buck stops, as far as I'm concerned, with the ultimate creator of all that is. Who, if something has gone awry, is it not that creator's responsibility to fix it? Now, some say that's happening. I've often believed it was in the process of happening. But I want to tell you, it hurts. It hurts to be homeless. It hurts to feel the frustration of my family that tries to love and care for me. But my lifestyle and their lifestyle, my viewpoint and their viewpoint aren't the same. And it creates a dilemma of tremendous proportions. It creates difficulty. I don't even want to leave the room that I'm in. I stay here all day. Excuse me. Thinking about things, rehashing, watching videos, or just laying there, meditating, trying to come up with some kind of solution, trying to come up with some remedy that will give me peace. Anyway, I ask for your prayers again. And I ask for prayers for my attorney friend and for her significant other. I ask for prayers for my family and for all those in the world who are suffering unjustly. That's a lot of people. Pray for them. That somehow the Creator will either shit or get off the pot, as the